Welcome to Movie Reedviews with Cody Reed. Hey there everyone, it's Cody Reed again here with another review for this summer. And this time we're going to talk a little bit about Lights Out. So it's the newest horror movie. It's actually from James Wan's production company. So he makes like The Conjuring, and I think he made at least one of the Saw movies, but he's a big horror guy. And so his company hired this guy, this director, who did a little short film called Lights Out. It was about 2 minutes. They hired that guy to go and make an actual full-length feature film about that topic. So the story has to be expanded a little bit more, of course, but the main idea of the movie is that these two kids, like this girl who's probably in her 20s or so, and then her little brother who's maybe, I don't know, like 8 to 10, they discover that they've both been haunted by this kind of demon lady woman thing. And but then they find out it's kind of tied to their mother, who's like going crazy, but it basically has an attachment to their mother, Sophie. And they need to unravel this mystery and figure out what's going on with this demon, this woman, and why it's terrorizing them. And that's the main gist of the movie. So it's just like any other horror movie. It has something to do with like demons and spirits and darkness and evil. So they just need to find that out. Now the two kids, Teresa Palmer, she's been in a few movies before and she plays Rebecca. Her younger brother is Martin. And like I mentioned, the mother is Sophie. You also have Rebecca's boyfriend, who is Brett. And, he's also trying to help them figure out what's going on. Now, to start a little bit with the characters, actually, Maria Bello, who plays Sophie, the mom, is by far the best actress in this movie. I thought she did a great job, actually. You could tell, like, they would be talking to her mom and she would just be kind of like going crazy a little bit, or like, oh no, no, Diana, who's her friend, like the weird woman lady, Diana's fine, she's been there for me. And like just the way that she talked, oh sorry, Martin, like the little boy, did we wake you? And you're just like, holy crap, woman, you actually, you're scaring this kid. You're saying we as in like you and Diana, the weird lady. So yeah, Maria Bello is by far the best actress in this movie, at least in my opinion. Then you have, like, the kids. Teresa Palmer, I warmed up to her character by the end, but, like, the first part of the movie, like, the first half of the movie, she just has this, like, really sour attitude. But then you kind of realize, okay, she's also had to deal with some crap in her life, and I kind of warmed up to her character. The little boy was okay at times. There's not really much else to say just because it's like a child actor. But I thought he was okay at times. And actually, the boyfriend kind of surprised me, the guy who plays Brett. His name is, let's see, Alexander de Persia. He actually kind of surprised me. I don't really know much about the guy, but his character was actually kind of interesting. He actually added a lot to the movie, and he was really like supportive of Teresa Palmer's Rebecca character. And yeah, he seemed like he was going to be like a douche or someone, but I kind of liked his character. Now, let's get into the main things you want to hear about for a horror movie. There weren't many scares in the first two-thirds of the movie. I mean, there were some here and there occasionally, and whenever it did happen, wherever there were like nighttime scenes or stuff was happening in the dark, it was kind of like The Visit from last year. There were certain times where at night you just knew that the horror and the intensity was going to ramp up, and that was the same thing with this movie. Whenever there were things happening with the dark or at night, like I said, that's when your body started to get more tense. You're just like, oh crap, there's darkness here. You just know that you're going to see that weird Diana creepy lady, and she's like, and like making noises and scratching at the floorboards and stuff. But the last act has more than enough scares to make up for the first two-thirds of the movie. Like I mentioned, it was kind of here and there for the first two-thirds, and I thought, okay, that's pretty good. My phone's vibrating. But the last act, yeah, plenty of scares. It's really cool to see the way that the director plays with the use of light, too. And that also kind of goes along with the characters. The characters are pretty smart in this movie, especially with their surroundings, just like the way that they use like flashlights. We got to turn on these candles. Oh, you got to keep the lights going. Oh, let's make this fire. Just anything to get light going it got like applause from the audience that I was in. One time especially, the boyfriend does something like that's pretty interesting before he gets uh, maybe taken. A slight spoiler, but the Diana character is attacking the boyfriend, but he does something that's really smart, and it actually garnered applause from my theater. So, like I mentioned, the director is really good with the use of light. The characters are pretty smart, and the movie's competently made. I just thought, though, sometimes the characters acted in ways that I didn't think normal people would act under the circumstances. Like, they would be attacked from Diana, and then all of a sudden they would just be like, oh, okay, and just kind of going along in the next scene and not like super scared or freaked out or, twitching and looking every which way. And I'm like, okay, most people in this situation, most normal, sane people would be freaked out. They would be like almost peeing their pants, freaked out, like just looking every which way, kind of going like all nervous and crazy. But these people, maybe it was just the editing and they just kind of jumped forward an hour or so. But I was just like, okay, if something like this just right away happened to me, I would be freaked out. And that happened a couple times in the movie, but other than that, like I mentioned, it's competently made. I was definitely tense by the end of the movie, and there were more than enough scares, to kind of make up from that first half. So I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. I really recommend it. It's actually one of the better horror movies that I've seen in recent years. If you're not really a horror fan, I think you'll like this because the movie's well made. There's some pretty good characters, especially the mom. She's a really great actress. And yeah, just a really good horror movie, especially from the past couple of years. So yeah, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel here. I'm doing some audio reviews lately. And look out, I'm hopefully going to be seeing Star Trek Beyond pretty soon. But let me know, what's your favorite horror movie from the past, let's say 3 years, just since like 2013. What's your favorite horror movie? Drop some comments below. Like I mentioned, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.